The philosophy of freedom is divided into two parts. Part 1 is entitled, Knowledge of Freedom. Part 2 is, Reality of Freedom. In Part 1, we learn how to gain knowledge of an action. By gaining knowledge of why we act, we can determine whether the action is free, or not free. In Part 2, we learn how to originate free action. In both cases, the approach taken is to examine our thinking processes. In order to characterize an action, we need to discover the reason, or motive of the action. This is the rule, or law, that directs the action. Are we controlled by inner laws of human nature? Are we controlled by outer rules set down by someone else, to act in a certain way? Or do we lack any kind of motivation at all? Hopefully, we are inspired by motives that we freely originate. Our action takes place in the world. So gaining knowledge of the laws that determine our action is done in the same way we gain knowledge of anything else in the world. We seek the laws of our action, just as science seeks to discover the fundamental laws of the universe. The laws that science discovers depends on what is being observed, and are universally valid. So the question of Part 1, that applies to gaining knowledge of an action, and also applies to gaining knowledge of anything else in the world, becomes: how can we gain universally valid ideas that express the inner core of the world? In Part 2, we learn how to originate free action. A free deed originates within our own world of ideas, where only we determine it. We think out for ourselves the ethical principle that applies in each particular case. Our reasons to act are absolutely original. We determine the reasons with purely conceptual thinking. The action is free because we determine the motive. We determine the laws that guide our action. Free action is based on individually valid ideas. This is different than the universally valid ideas of science. There are no universally valid moral decisions. With this, the question of Part 2 becomes: how can we gain individually valid ideas that express the inner core of our being? This is different than the question of Part 1. Can you see the differences? The general ethical ideal we select needs to be imaginatively translated into a specific action. If we select the general principle of helping others, to translate the principle into a specific action, we will need to envision what we want to bring about in the world. We are inspired by our vision to create a new reality, by helping others. The realization of our ideals is the true joy of life. Ethical ideas are different than scientific ideas, in that they are not determined by what is being observed. If we perceive a dog, there is only one general concept: dog. Ethical ideas are different, in that they depend on us. We take notice of the situation, but we do not allow ourselves to be determined by it. On another day, we may decide to do something for ourselves. In the same situation, we may decide to select a different ethical principle, such as, help myself. We may envision ourselves going home, and getting in bed to get the rest we need. In part 1 we learn how to know reality. We seek knowledge of what already exists. This is achieved with reality-based knowledge, made possible by having the ability to gain universally valid cognitive ideas of science. In part 2 we learn how to create reality. Our actions create new realities. This is achieved with ethically based action, made possible by having the ability to gain individually valid ethical ideas of action. True freedom is achieved when they are united. We are truly human when we are imaginatively creating a new world out of knowledge.